Thank you, Hero. As always, your engine in this session, and I think we have some clarity for yourself. I think although you joined a previous journey, at least one other previous journey session,
Mm.
um, I think we did a lot of wrapping together some of the first journey sessions in these last couple, so that important folks like yourself are all caught up. And yeah, it's I think an important piece to these real time sessions is debriefing people, getting them caught up without having to. I think, as you mentioned, right, take a much longer route, right, in terms of getting caught up. So, well, thank you kindly, y'all. This means a lot anytime that we can get together.
Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you, thank you. And keep me updated in how you're thinking about all the things you're thinking about, of course, Hero. Um, I know we left off with a good session around some of that. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, cool.
all right. And thanks for the recording. I keep forgetting that you pulled that off somehow. This
Yeah,
and you keep. Yeah.
uh,
Thank you, thank
it's not difficult, don't
you.
worry.
All right, y'all. Let you go.
Thanks,
Uh,
Keep
Harold.
going.
bye.
Keep going without me, please, please.
Maybe I'll ask Merrick like a question, and then
Ooh,
we can
yeah.
we can end there maybe.
All right. See, Harold, it's gonna go.
So, yeah. So Merrick, so basically this session is to improve the Karen Grants program participation. Is that right? This particular journey session. It's more like that level than did a thing improving on the participation of did a thing.
Well, it's kind of the same thing because, like,
Right.
I think part of Journeys is going to be tying in not exactly did a thing and props, but
Yeah.
being able to spread that out over different channels. So you can say, pick up, hey, this little message is going to be a part of this journey that we're already working on. And I think in relationship to the grants and the ambassadors, I think the Journeys program might be closer to the core of those can't be evil and user owned internet values.
It's more like when projects are coming to Stacks, we are being the facilitator and educator and participator in the conversation, so they can have this concept planted in at the beginning. Would that be right?
Mm-hmm. I think it's part of that transformation that that kind of happens, and the felt autonomy, I guess, is some of the
felt
language
autonomy.
Harold used.
Yeah.
Felt autonomy, yeah. Because especially for folks who, I don't know, I'm thinking about like the bigger, more corporate-esque, or even not corporate-esque, but like industrial feeling, like Industrial Revolution 4.0 type NFT types of setups coming in, and I'm thinking about like of that whole like network of people working within that system, who's going to be the one that's actually going to be interfacing with what we've got going on over here with Advox, right? I'm thinking quite likely it's going to be like a someone closer to a generator of value, the actual working person, and them getting exposed to some of maybe the system design and even just the language, right? The language that we have here helps form ideas that can give people a felt sense of autonomy once they learn how to use that language and interface with systems using that language. So in that sense, it's like the X part of Advox, right? It's that transformation. It's turning degens into regens, right? It's that whole the medicine, I think, that that people can get by like learning how to interface through some of the systems that we got going on here, as opposed to those like legacy extractive systems that everyone's used to from the previous world.
So would that be basically be speaking to the builders and creators coming to Stacks?
Yeah. Yes, definitely that's part of it. I think like I don't know, I kind of almost want to expand on this like idea that I was like kind of playing with earlier when Harold was speaking about like because like just speaking, right, that limits to the English language, right? And we're trying to get systems that transcend
Yeah.
and can get away a lot of like the English language has so much like dissection and almost like vocabulary that's built in a way that such that it's a mechanism to extract your own autonomy. So like by using the English language, and especially in the ways that we're conditioned to use it to the legacy systems that we're used to, it takes away our own autonomy. It takes away our own like free will. It kind of it puts constraints on the style, what we are able to communicate, the emotions and the shapes and the pictures that we're able to communicate, and so like being able to like when we're talking about when you're cashing in, right? When you're like doing a data thing, right? You're making some communication and you're putting it in this channel to cash in and receive power in that exchange, right? And so what like that's when we're looking at like doing the data style, like data, like the drawings types of data things or like more visual value tracking. It like expands the like medium through which we can communicate our achievements, not just like achievements in content, but also in like emotional like work that helps us have language that gives us greater autonomy, which having people with greater autonomy in our systems uh, um, makes those systems more sustainable long term. And that's what we're really about at Stacks. People in Stacks are always talking it's long term, right? Like whether that's at like the simple level of like HODL or like even like I'm like looking in just the Telegram even just today, like looking at people talking about like invest your time, invest yourself, and learn about what's really going on here, because this is the system that's going to be like Stacks is probably the network. I mean, that's why I'm here. I read the white paper like a year and a bit ago, and I'm like, this has economic potential to like really be the main like decentralized chain. Just
especially because it's backed by Bitcoin. I know what you mean. It's so intriguing. It's what brought me here too. It's like it's different. It's got the governance and just the way Muneeb himself, he takes a lot of those I guess morals from Princeton, and just I really like that and follow that, and that's what really stuck out to me.
Can I get you to expand on that a bit, Locke? Because I haven't really, I honestly haven't even listened to Muneeb like that much. I've seen him in a few things, but when you talk about like takes morals from Princeton,
so what I understand is more so this is what Harold has touched on, is just more so how we all know, right, Muneeb went to Princeton, right? So just understanding how I guess the governance aspect from those schools, just the way that we have the bottom up approach from, I guess, real life society, it almost seems like Stacks uses like a real protocol, if you know what I mean, like a real like a I don't know how to explain it, but a structure that you wouldn't see in most coins, right? It takes real life fundamentals, right, and it delivers it on the chain, if you know what I mean.
So basically, I think if I guess what Locke is sort of speaking to is because I also have seen Muneeb. I watched everything basically from the Muneeb, And so his ethos is very much close to Bitcoin. It's about permissionless. It's not about having a Binance chain, and if you want to run a node, you can't run a node because the cost of it is too high. You need a super high speed upload time, which means you need to buy a huge computer and have huge, super expensive internet to upload all this data. So Manip is very much pro decentralization, and that is seen in the protocol design, in the consensus of how Stacks reaches consensus, which means small nodes requirement, at least, distributed everywhere, permissionless, I think, if that's what Locke is saying.
No, that's literally. Thank you so much for properly converting what I was trying to get out there. I appreciate that.
And that, yeah, basically is very much similar to the ethos of Bitcoin. And if you'd like to compare, let's say, a federated network like Liquid, which has its own purpose, has its own use, but at the end of the day, it has a gatekeeper. You aren't able to set up a node in Liquid. They are a network of designated node runners and signers, I think, of fund, which is kept, which isn't as decentralized as it perhaps could be. But yeah.
Thanks for adding on that. I appreciate that. I actually have to run out right now, guys. I have to go grab some dinner.
Cool.
But, I
All
really
right.
appreciate the chats this week, and I hope we can collaborate more next couple of sessions, and then head towards that POAP goal as we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, cool. Talk to you later.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Talk to you soon, Hero. Talk to you soon, Merrick.
Bye.
Talk to you soon, Locke. Hope you feel better soon, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Yeah, no, Merrick. Yeah, no, that's all. I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, I feel good about ending our recording here too. Yeah, I guess I could actually respond real quick just for the recording's sake and my own sake of finishing my thoughts. But yeah, I thank you for like filling in all that info, and thanks to Locke too, even though he's gone now. But yeah, that's what I liked about the stacks too. Is like, you know, small nodes, or not small nodes, but like not crazy powerful nodes, and just recycling Bitcoin, right? Recycling Bitcoin's proof of work, and like I understood it at the proof of burn level, and then it's like once you see what POX does, it's like, oh shit, like that's a huge just economic incentive to make stacks become sick and popular over like the next, I think like 10 years or however long POX is gonna go for.
Well, recycling part is one part, but I think the other part is that it's not a proof of stake, because proof of stake is more like the more tokens you have, as long as you stake it, your bag will keep growing and growing. And I think the problem with that one is your governance power is related to the number of tokens you have, which means in terms of participation and governance or voice, it's not as horizontality, perhaps, as the language here it's speaking to.
Yeah, that was one thing I just remember learning about, like Ethereum. Like this is years ago, and like not super good knowledge. It's like shaky knowledge, but I remember like looking at Ethereum and being like, okay, all right, 2.0, it's gonna be proof of stake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh, that just sounds like a future of like a few big like powerful.
I mean, that's what
holders.
Bitcoiners say, basically. That's the argument against proof of stake. Moving to proof
Mhm.
of stake is when you have that, your governance of your power just gonna be just forever big. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Whereas in Bitcoin, you're Michael Saylor, right? And it doesn't matter how much Bitcoins you have because the people running the nodes actually decide which version of Bitcoin is the correct version or the longest chain. And that is like a checks and balance, basically. Helps to keep everybody in check. Whereas the checks and balance in the Ethereum, there is no as
Mhm.
amazing checks and balance like a Bitcoin design. So that's what the Bitcoiners argue.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if
Gotcha.
you're Michael Saylor in the Ethereum network, you have so much token, your Tesla, you such big token, you have more votes. You have more say in which Ethereum it is.
Mhm.
But in Bitcoin, it's not like this. The small little nodes that people run on Raspberry Pi is distributed everywhere, and they are the voters almost basically. And Michael
Mhm.
Saylor doesn't because he has more Bitcoin, if he runs a node, he has one vote.
Mhm.
It's the same as if I own 0.1 Bitcoin, I have one vote. He has the same vote as me in terms of deciding which Bitcoin chain it is and deciding So he has got so much more money than me, but it doesn't matter basically. But it matters in Ethereum proof of stakes. I hope that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good nuance. Thank you for illustrating that and
That's my
explaining that.
understanding anyway. I cannot say I'm 100% correct, but I'm pretty sure that I'm 90% correct on this particular case. At least a simple proof of stake model. And maybe there are iterations of proof of stakes that I don't know, but the generic concept of proof of stake is you are a node runner as well as the governance. But in Bitcoin is separated out. And the reason why I'm saying this is because in theory, I think stacks work much more like a Bitcoin than an Ethereum proof of stake, where the nodes and your bag size is sort of separated out. So even if you are a Manip, like a big, pre-mined token, he has a lot, but it doesn't mean he has much more say than somebody small. And I think that's what Locke was referring to, like this ethos of CompiEvos and stuff is built in to the protocol.
Mhm. Mhm. And I think too, I mean, for like changes to the SIPs, right? Like changes to
Mm-hmm.
the stacks going
Yeah,
forward, right? Governance around that, right?
right.
I think this like governance that we have that we're kind of like uncovering here
Mm-hmm.
with this like Two Wampum dialogue guided Turtle Wolf Bear stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be able to for those bigger decisions be able to like hopefully find a peaceful a good peaceful and like long-term sustainable you know conclusion
Yeah,
and
I guess
consensus.
the more people we have understanding this concept of long-term sustainability or whatever you guys here came up with research-wise, yeah, I think the more people know about it, the better. Hopefully, we get better quality decision making around the SIP.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Mhm.
what you're saying, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe let's end it here then.
I think so. Yeah, that's a good call.
Cool. Yeah, thanks a lot. I'll
Yeah.
I'll post these two videos into meeting notes, and then maybe you can, if you could, amend the thing to include these two links.
Yeah, I'll what
Because
you do
last
is
time I did it, I messed it up, so I don't.
yeah, but what you do is you type like first you go and you copy what you want. It's kind of it's a convoluted process. It's not the most pleasant process, but it's like not too hard. You can follow if you like scroll up in bot commands, you'll see someone type like !edit, and then actually, you know what? I'll just like send you the command.
Yeah, because I
Does
tried
that
the
work?
command
Because I gotta
myself,
double
and then
check. But
it
you basically
duplicates.
like it's like !edit, and then you link a link to the post in meeting notes that you want to edit, and then you type out the text that you want to replace it with, and then it automatically adds the participants.
But last time I tried it, it duplicated the number of participants.
Yeah. So you what you do yeah, I've had that exact thing. You don't put the participants because the bot remembers it and adds it by itself.
Right.
So when you copy everything except for the participants line.
What about the recorder and facilitator? Do I still put those in?
Yeah, you still put those in. The only thing the bot does is participants.
Okay, I get you now. So yeah, hopefully I'll give it another go.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but yeah, that's pretty much the trick.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks a lot. I'll talk
Cool.
to you next time. I don't know if I'll be in tomorrow's session, but we'll see.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll see you
all
in
right.
the future.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye.